start. All right, topic 7-1 today. So new chapter. We're moving away from the triangles for just a little bit, and we're going to get into similar things, but the first thing we need to do is review, right? So ratios and proportions. Does anybody remember what another word for ratio is? No? Another word for ratio is a fraction. Yeah, you may hate fractions, but you're familiar with them, right? You know what they are. So, a ratio is a fraction, and a fraction is just a comparison of two numbers. So, a comparison of two numbers. That's what a fraction is. Okay? So, traditionally, we can write fractions and ratios in three different ways, right? The most common way is A divided by B. That's the one that everyone knows. A divided by B. Okay, we can also use words A to B. Right? So that's another way to write a fraction. And then the last way is using a colon. A colon B. All right, so your most common is going to be our fraction. All right, anybody remember what a proportion is? No? A proportion is just two fractions, right? So two ratios or fractions that are equal. Two fractions that are equal. So for instance, if I had 1 over 2 equals x over 4, that is a proportion. Y'all remember how to do proportions? Anybody remember the term that you used to solve these? Yeah, the butterfly method. Yes, there was another one that somebody brought up last class period too. Does it say? No, it doesn't say anything. So it's your choice. Okay, thank you. Are you taking notes? Okay. All right. So, yes, this is, so the butterfly method is what usually people teach. That's, okay, so butterfly. That's not the actual name to it, right? So the actual name is to cross multiply or cross product. Okay, the butterfly method is to cross multiply. So for instance, I'm going to multiply top times bottom on the opposite sides. So 2 times x becomes 2x equals 1 times 4, and then I would solve from there, right? Divide by 2 and get x equals 2. All right? Y'all remember doing that? So we are going to take it one step further where it's going to be a little bit harder than this. So if, and we can multiply pretty much anything that's in there. So if I have whatever is in A times D, right? Chill out, it's coming back. So A times D is going to equal B times C. That's your setup, right? We know how to do this. This is not new. All right, let's try this out. So this is saying determine whether each pair of ratios forms a proportion. So yes or no, is it proportional? So they're asking us 4 over 6, is it equal to 12 over 16? To check this, we cross multiply. 4 times 16. Hopefully you have a calculator. 64. And then I do 12 times 6. And that's 72. Does 72 equal 64? No, it does not. So I'm going to put a slash and say these are, no, they are not proportional. Not proportional. All right, let's try B. Same thing. Make them equal to each other. 3/5 equals 6/10. And then they want us to check it. Good. So 3 times 10 is 30. And 6 times 5 is also 30. 30 equals 30. So yes, these are proportional. That's literally all you have to do with those is check. Cross multiply, see if they equal. Okay, what if they want us to solve? So this is what we were doing a while ago. You should know how to do this as well. Cross multiply. 4 times A is 4A. And it has to equal 7.8 times 3.82. Crazy decimals. I think we got 29.796. This is a regular algebra problem. So I'm going to divide by 4 so I can find what A makes this true. So divide by 4. A equals, all those decimals, include them for me, 7.449. So that number makes this proportion equal. Annette, you could probably go whenever you want because it's probably going to take a little bit. All right. Number 3. There is a little difference on this one because when I cross multiply, the top right-hand corner has 2 terms instead of just 1. So the left is normal, right? It's 3 times x, which is just 3x. And that's going to equal 7 times x plus 2. So I have to remember that 7 has to be multiplied by both. You have to multiply 7 times x and 7 times 2. Anybody remember what that's called? When there's a number on the outside of the parentheses? What do you call that? Distributing, right? When you distribute. Okay, so when I'm solving, 3x stays the same. And then I have to distribute. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 2 is 14. Regular algebra from here. You should be able to do this in your sleep, right? I'm going to move 7x to the other side, even though it's going to give me a negative. Right? I want all the x's to one side. 3 minus 7 is a negative 4x, and then I have a positive 14 on the other side. I'm going to divide by that negative 4. X equals, it is a negative, and it's a decimal. 3.5. Negative 3.5. Okay, so the main thing is to remember that you have to distribute if there's 2 terms. Right? That was the only thing that changed. So again, on number 4, here we have 2 terms on the bottom left, so I'm going to have to distribute. So when I cross multiply, x, no, it's not too much work. 5 times x is 5x equals, this time I have 3 times x plus 6. All right, distribute that whole thing, don't forget. So 5x stays on the left, and then I get 3 times x, which is 3x, and then 3 times 6 is 18. I promise you, if you're going to make a mistake, it's going to be because you forget to distribute to that second term. It's usually what happens. All right, solve for x for me. So move all your x's to one side. So 5 minus 3 is 2x, and then I still have that 18 on the other side. Divide by 2. X equals 9. Everybody good so far? We have one more on this front page. Hang with me. Right? This one you have to distribute on both. Right? There's 2 terms on both tops. So cross multiply for me. And I just put those X's so I know what goes with what. You don't have to do that on your paper if you already know. All right, so on, let's see, I'm going to have 2 times x plus 6 equals 4 times x minus 2. That's what I have. And I have to distribute on both. All right, so distribute 2 times x and get 2x, then 2 times 6 plus 12. Then I do 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times negative 2 is minus 8. Straight algebra from here. I'm going to keep everything positive. So I'm going to move 2x because I want to work with positive numbers. So that goes away, and I'm left with 12 equals 2x minus 8. Now I have to move that 8, right? So this is algebra. You should be able to do this in your sleep. 12 plus 8 is 20 equals 2x, and then divide by 2. Yeah, x equals 10. All right, one more, or we have 3 more, but one more page on the back side. And they are word problems. I don't want you to freak out, right? I'm going to show you how to do these. Here we go. Turn the page for me. So on your homework, there is going to be a spot that says words first. Okay? This is just going to help you keep the order, the same order. Because if you change the order of your fractions, then you're going to get wrong answers. All right? So it says Josefina sells helium balloons. She charges $9 for 12 balloons. And at this rate, what would she charge for 50 balloons? So a ratio is a comparison of 2 numbers. So if I'm looking, I'm comparing money and balloons. Those are the 2 things. She's charging money for balloons. So those are my words, money and balloons. Every time I make a fraction, I'm going to put money on top and balloons on bottom. Every time, no switching. So I know that I have to have a fraction equaling a fraction because it says use a proportion, and that's what a proportion is 2 fractions. The first one, $9 for 12 balloons. Money goes on top, so 9 on top, balloons on bottom. If she what would she charge for 50 balloons? Balloons, do they go top or bottom? Bottom. And they want to know how much she's going to charge, so that's my x. Okay, cross multiply for me, 12 times x and 9 times 50. So 12x equals 450. And then you are dividing by 12. Okay, if you have a calculator, you get 37.5. Since it's money, I'm going to add a 0 and a $sign. Because she's charging $37.50 for 50 balloons. I think that's a pretty good deal, y'all. I'd take $38 and air up 50 balloons for somebody. All right, let's go again. A photocopy machine. Don't forget your words first, right? You want to find what you're comparing. A photocopy machine copies 50 pages in 1.5 minutes. What are you comparing? Yeah, pages and minutes. Those are my words. So every fraction is going to be pages over minutes. So my first one, 50 pages, 1.5 minutes. How long will it take to copy 90 pages? Pages goes on top, 90. And they want to know how long. So that's my x. Cross multiplies, it's close, yeah. So I have 50x equaling 1.5 times 90, which equals 135. And then I divide. Give me all those crazy decimals. I think it comes out to be 2.7 minutes. Yeah, you were close. Good estimation. All right, the last one's a little bit more difficult. It's 2 steps, okay? I'm going to walk you through it, but it is a 2-step problem. So a recent school bond issue passed 3 out of every 4 votes in favor of. So I need you to pay attention. 3 out of 4 in favor. The total of 2,550 people voted against the bond. So now we've changed, right? The first one was in favor. This one's now against. How many people voted in favor of this bond? Okay, we need words first. And this is where I'm going to help you because, okay, it starts out with in favor and then switches for against and then goes back to in favor. Like that's what it wants, right? Since they gave me an actual number of people for against, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use against, so who voted against it, over the total amount of people that voted. Those are my words. Against, and then I'm going to find the total number of people. I know I need 2 fractions. Okay, my first one says 3 out of 4 in favor of, so I got to do some rearranging. If 3 over 4 are in favor, then how many are against it? It's really simple, right? If there's 4 people total and 3 people are in favor, then how many people are against? 1 out of 4, right? So 1 person is against out of every 4. Then they tell me 2,550 people voted against it, and I want to know how many people voted in total. So this, how many total votes? That's what I'm looking for. Cross multiply for me. Right, 1x, so we don't even have to do anything because it's 1x, right? So whatever we get is going to be our answer. Well, part of our answer. 4 times 2,550 comes out to be 10,200 total votes, right? They want how many people are in favor. If these people are against, then I have one more step. I have to take the total and I have to subtract how many people were against it. Right? Total versus against. We're subtracting. And I get 7,650 votes in favor. OR. There we go. Yay. So the only difference on that one was that they gave you in favor, like your fraction in favor for, and then they wanted you to convert it to against. That's all. Okay, so your choices for today are